I mean, there's different levels depending on who the student is. Some people, as soon as they start taking a class, and if it seems too hard, and they get really frustrated very easily. And for those people, I try to reinforce the fact that it's hard for everybody. People who are brilliant, or people have better backgrounds than other people, usually if you study, you get to a certain point, but then it becomes easier to learn it. You have to go through a process where you can't connect things together. And so you have to go through a frustrating period. And some people don't realize if they know something or not. Some of the students think, I study this, I know everything. And you have to find out, you have to be able to figure out what you actually do know. And that's always a big surprise. And I think with all kinds of science, you have to be very persistent, I think, in teaching and in doing research in science. You can't give up. The people who are successful are the people who do it over and over and over again until they get it right. The people who aren't successful think, oh, I can't get it right. I'm never going to get it right. If you're interested in it, if you like to figure out a puzzle and see how things work, and if you keep at it, you can do it. Anybody, really. It also is good to, if you can, get some practical training so you can actually see what the profession is. A lot of times people are really surprised when they see what scientists do. Because it's not exactly, what you think of. Usually you see the end result, or when you see a television program on a scientist discovering something, it's the exciting part when he actually finds the answer. Interesting. So it's good to go on, if you're interested in physical therapy, if you're interested in medicine, if you're interested in bench research, or if you're interested in conservation kinds of research, to put yourself in that position so you can see what the actual life process is, and what you'll be doing with your life as you go through it. Of course, you have a different perspective if you were the person who was conducting the research rather than the person who was watching. If you're just watching, you're not, you don't really know why you're doing things, so it's not quite as interesting. But still, it's good to see what people do in that field. So it's good if you can shadow people, or if you can work or volunteer in an area so you can really see what it's like. Well, there's all kinds. Most of the students I see are going into a professional school. A lot of them are going into medicine, or nursing, or dentistry, or psychology, or they have a professional career goal in mind. But biology prepares you to do all kinds of things, such as doing lab research and helping people, other faculty or faculty members to conduct research, teaching. There's some types of biology, especially like anatomy, for example, where you can get a master's degree, which is only a 2-year program after undergraduate, or you can teach in community college or even at the university to teach gross anatomy. And a lot of people like to teach at community colleges if you don't want to go on for a PhD degree. People sell drugs if you have a biology background. You can design web pages that are associated with biology, because someone has to have a background in biology in order to envision what the web page is going to look like. So you can work for companies that are involved in drug research and help them design websites, or other businesses that are associated with biological products. There's lots of, you can always be an assistant in a medical field with a biology, just an undergraduate degree. Of course, if you want to go into graduate school, then there's a huge number of other things you can do, which is running programs. I mean, that's a lot more fun to run the program yourself rather than to be a part of somebody else's program. Although that's a good way to start out if you want to see if you really like it or not. If you run your own program, if you go on for an advanced degree, then you can graduate student, you're doing somebody else's research or you're following their interests. You have to go to a lab that's funded so you can buy the chemicals, and a lot of times the experiments are already laid out. And it's fun to find out if you can do them or what's going to happen with them. You really can't predict. But then, if you graduate and get a PhD and you can start as a faculty member, then you can do your own research and find out where your interests lie and where your discovery leads you. And then you can, find students to help you do the research and make a contribution. And you can also teach, which is exciting because people are just so unaware. They don't know what they don't know, so it's fun to show them so they can understand how the world works and how they operate in the world. Biology really is one of the last frontiers. Well, psychology, and that has a medical or biological basis too. I mean, that's really the last frontier. The brain, how the brain works, and that's biologically based. And there's so many new research developments. It used to be physics was the most exciting field. So much was being discovered. Now I think it's biology.